everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How is everybody doing?
Are we using our fake voices?
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Who uses fake voices like these? Is these like newscaster voices?
Newscasters like us. What's up, David? How you doing?
Yo, hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. What's I don't know, just hanging out.
I just recorded a video.
You did?
Like right before I went live, I recorded a video.
What's it about?
So I was making fun of atheism pretty hard. But,
Atheism.
So get ready to cry. I should put you in the front with like tears running down your face or something.
How dare you?
No, I was talking about Bill Maher. Well, I guess everyone's going to see it, but I was talking about Bill Maher. I took these clips and he's talking about and the new generation's becoming atheists. And I mean, this is the first generation that's more that's minority Christian. He's talking about it's great. And there's all these other clips where he's talking about this new generation is the dumbest, most gullible generation that's ever lived. It's like, wait a minute.
Okay.
What the heck?
That's funny.
How are you not?
I have to give you that. That's funny.
How are you not putting these things together? So anyway, I went ahead and put them together since Bill couldn't figure it out. Anyway,
I have to give you that. That is funny. Didn't he? He just started I guess it's not just. He started that like a year ago or so. He started a new podcast where he's just sitting there and
yeah, Club Random.
Yeah, getting high and drinking.
Yeah, he sits there smoking weed and then talking to like Jordan Peterson and stuff. Which I mean, it's like a funny idea. I'm not going to do it, but it's a funny idea, right? Like it's a funny idea. Like sitting there smoking weed and drinking and having conversations about philosophy and psychology and all this stuff.
The funny thing is, I watched a few clips of his podcast, and it looks like he can't really handle the stuff that he's smoking and drinking because he seems very, very goofy when he's talking to the people, and it's kind of funny.
Well, that is funny because that's like that was Plato's Symposium. They're at a drinking party and they're all getting drunk and talking about philosophy and what love is and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and then Socrates is the one who can like drink and not really get drunk, so he maintains his control over his faculties. Anyway, that's kind of what made it funny, is that all these dudes are drunk out of their minds and discussing what love is. So I guess that's a similar idea to
symposium. Literally means drinking or something, right? Drinking together, I think.
No, it's about simping.
What?
Oh, hey, we should make something symposium.
That's a good idea. That's funny. That is funny. Hello, everybody. Hello, chat. What's up? How is everybody doing? Moshe Cohen already made this whole live stream very sus by making a super chat in the Israeli currency and said, "Gotta go to sleep. It's getting hard to catch you guys live. Just wanted to say keep up the good work. Good night, and stay away from Islam." Thank you, Moshe.
Wait, so you got some shekels here?
Got some shekels here.
You see?
Now we have to defend the Talmud, and
you see, they're being paid to defend.
Also, what is this? AZLUSG said, "Hello, I'm wondering, even though this is a lunatic idea, if you have ever considered interviewing Aysel Sengun. She's Turkish German like you."
I would never trust a Turkish German person on a live stream, so it's gonna be hard no for me.
I don't think I've ever heard of that person, but I might look into it. I don't know. I'll see. That's an interesting idea.
That's a pretty cool name too, Aysel.
I will see. Did you guys hear that the eminent scholar Sir Whitemead proved that Muhammad was a Christian and his followers changed everything after he died? I think so. I think we're pretty sure about that. Yeah.
I want to see this Sir Whitemead finally do a debate or something like that, because I mean, he's the one who's out there proving everything.
That is funny. Okay, so today we want to talk about SNEAKO and SNEAKO's recent conversation, the recent monologues, recent streams on his Rumble account. But I should also note here that SNEAKO is not allowed on YouTube. He was banned from YouTube permanently quite a while ago, I think a year ago, for behaving in very, very wild, bad ways.
What was that? Was that for Jewish stuff, or was it for like saying feminists need to be raped or something like that?
I think it was the feminists rape stuff, because he was banned shortly after that. I don't think he actually gave a proper reason. He never really told people why he was banned specifically. But there was that one stream where, and I clipped that and showed that on a video that I made about him, where he's talking about this feminist streamer, YouTuber, and he basically says she just needs to get a good, and then it like emulates or simulates beating her and saying come here, and her saying ah, and stuff like that. It's very messed up, you know. It's that's why he was banned, I think.
That's similar to the mentality is similar to like Muhammad Hijab. Remember when he was saying that that women in the West who are critical of Islam, deep down they want to be raped. They want a real man to come and take over and rape them and stuff.
Makes complete sense, of course. Yeah.
It's interesting these guys all find the same religion.
That's a big surprise. We don't know why. We do not know why. We have no idea why. And we will never know. It's a mystery entirely. So recently, SNEAKO made a stream where he was reviewing stuff that is completely unrelated to Islam. Actually, he was reviewing some documentary from Alex Jones and reacting to it. And on that stream, he started expressing some things like, guys, I don't know what to do in my free time. Like there's nothing to do in this. There's nothing you can do in Islam. Well, guys, chat. What can you do in Islam? What is allowed to do? Everything is haram. And here is the problem. I initially marked the timestamp of that video and thought, oh, this is a nice thing to talk about. Very nice thing to talk about.
And then you messaged me and said, hey, there's this awesome clip we can respond to. And you set up the live stream. This live stream, we're going to actually go through SNEAKO's complaints about there being nothing to do in Islam and how he has nothing to do now. And so we're going to do that. And then what happens?
And then what happened? Then I'm like, okay, I saved the link, I saved the timestamp. Now let me go to that video and have a look at specifically which part of it we want to talk about, because it was very, very good. And then I go on it, I click the link, and I see this.
Restricted. Wait. Now, hey, I'm wondering about the timing here. So did that go private after you set up your live stream? In other words, like someone contacts them and says, hey, they're about to talk about your stuff, or what?
That would be funny, but that's not the case. It actually it went private before I set it up.
Okay.
But so I set it up nevertheless. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so no, I'm just saying, so this is probably like people watched it and complained to him. It wasn't about us, we're going to talk about it or anything. It was just, hey, dude, you're talking about how you've got nothing to do now because there's nothing to do in Islam that you're allowed to do, that you like doing. You're not allowed to do anything that you like doing. And so you need to take that down because you're going
to. That's my theory, because I looked through his channel. I looked at his channel and I see the videos that are up here on his
wait
channel.
So Nick Fuentes is okay. Him SNEAKO saying there's nothing to do in Islam, that's got to go bye-bye.
Yeah, I checked out his channel here, his last videos.
He makes pretty decent thumbnails there.
Yeah, I guess he pays somebody who. Yeah. I think I know the person who actually does these. The person contacted me, and probably you too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're all thinking about the same.
Yeah, so that stream was on here, and I think it was just like 2 days ago or so, and the stream is gone. And what I don't understand is all the other streams are still there, I think.
Let that be a lesson to you, AP. When you find something interesting, you got to download it.
I know, that's what I normally would do, but
it's pretty easy. It takes me like 5 seconds to download something.
Great, yet I said SNEAKO always looks very constipated.
Wait, there's a SNEAKO reacts to Alex Jones.
Yeah, that is only a clip of the actual full stream. I think the full stream was like 3 hours long or something like that. So
I'm actually wondering about this complaint here, because on the one hand, we know as long as you're tossing a bone to Islam, you can do anything. Right. I mean, Zerka and some of SNEAKO's like girlfriends have already been exposing him, saying he's still going around boning models and stuff like that. But on stream,
on camera.
Yeah. And And yet he's going on his live stream. Oh, it's just so hard being a Muslim. I don't even know what to do in my free time. But I mean, we know for a fact, as long as you're tossing a bone to Islam, you could do anything. They will not under any circumstances hold you accountable. He could be drinking, he could be getting high, he could be boning 10 different models a day. As long as at the end of it he says, "Oh, but it's time to go to the mosque." They'll, "Alhamdulillah, our hero SNEAKO."
Yeah, and Sheikh Uthman meets up with him, and he acts like this is the new standard for.
This is the Mahdi.
He will save the Muslims.
He's going to save him.
So I don't know. This is very, very strange. And I even looked through YouTube to see, because people upload his videos on YouTube as well in long form, and I'm looking for it, and I can't find it anywhere. I'm like, what in the world? How is this even possible? I search for it on other platforms. I can't find it anywhere. I do still have a few things that I wanted to talk about, regardless on this stream.
Just to be clear for everyone who's tuning in, SNEAKO posted during a live stream, starts complaining that there's nothing to do now that he's a Muslim. Then he made that video private because we were going to discuss it, but now we can't. And so this entire live stream has basically been destroyed because of SNEAKO privatizing his video. But you've got a couple other related issues on this topic.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But I can basically summarize what he was saying, because I saw it. It's actually my wife who brought it to my attention, who said, "Hey, you have to see this," and she gave me the timestamp, and I started watching it while she was still there, and I found it hilarious, and made a note and thought, I'm going to talk about this. But wait, is it possible for all non-Muslims to come together to deal with jihadi threat, just like USA, Russia put aside the differences, came together to beat Nazis? Not unless there is a huge war going on, I would say. David the Goliath. I don't think so. So I can quickly describe what he did say, although it would be very nice to watch it. What he did say was, he was talking about all the things that he used to do in his free time in the past. I don't know, going to the club, dancing, having all kinds of fun time, listening to music and this and that. And he was basically listing and was explaining to his audience, I want to do this, but that is haram. I want to do that, and that is also haram. I want to do this, that is haram. And he was like, Chad, what is there to do in Islam? What can you do in Islam in your own free time? There is nothing you can do. What am I supposed to do? Everything is haram. Even I don't play games.
It's very simple. If you're in a place like Pakistan, you go around burning churches down, and if you're in the West, you can run around complaining to be a victim. It's easy.
Yeah,
this is pretty straightforward there, SNEAKO.
Yeah.
And by the way, notice, I mean, because we saw it with Tate. I mean, Tate, after his conversion, was literally on Twitter claiming to be God, claiming to be the savior, claiming to be Lord. And in every case, they just made excuses for him. Oh, but he's new. He doesn't know any better. SNEAKO, you've got like a 2 to 5 year window where you can do absolutely anything you want because of your popularity. And all they will say is, oh, but he's new. It's okay if he's still going to the club and boning all these chicks and drinking and all this stuff. It's all fine. They'll defend you. He doesn't know any better.
While I was looking for that, I saw a few other things that he did, and this is kind of funny. And I thought, man, I'm kind of entertained by this guy. Like he's having a long stream, and during the stream, Muslims keep telling him, play Nasheed, and he's like, what is Nasheed? What is Nasheed? And then I guess somebody sent him a link. Nasheed is Islamic music.
It's a book that was taken out of the Quran. Just like the Council of Nicaea was taken out of the Bible, SNEAKO.
He starts listening to it, and he has this very fun reaction to it, and he's trying to act like he's very touched by it. But let's just look at that for a second. Wait a minute, did I share my? I bet I didn't share my sound, right? Okay, let's see. Share system audio. Okay, here. Okay.
Real quick, and we go back to comedy.
It sounds like the Chipmunks doing a nasheed. We're the Chipmunks.
Look at his face.
What is that? What's up with? I mean, what is that though? That sounds. I mean, I've heard way cooler ones than that.
I know this sounds horrible. And
the lower voice ones are better. And they got this. It sounds like Dylan Mulvaney doing a nasheed.
You know my intro music from the stream on the streams. That's the best nasheed. I don't know why this is just a bunch of kids that are being tortured and singing.
We're the jihadis.
Chipmunks.
C-H-I. C-H-I-M.
Look at the reaction. Look at his face.
وأعجب من مريدك وهو يدري بأنك في الورى أم العجاب ولولا أن لي معنى جميلا لبعت المكس فيها بالذهب.
Good actor. Oh, he's hypnotized. He's in a trance. Allahu Akbar!
What is he doing? It's like so obviously fake.
Oh, okay. Right, go and play it. I can do that. I can do that too. I can do
فيها بالذهب رأيت الله في الكون ربا جميعا.
Look at that, David. You have to see that.
رأيت الله في الكون ربا جميع الكائنات له تحابي شواهد أنه فرد جليل على رغم المجاهد.
That shit was fire.
Garbage. I wouldn't even say that about all the. I mean, they're all garbage in their meaning, but some of them actually sound significantly better than that garbage.
Look at what some people post here. W ISIS. No, that's a win ISIS. He's obviously not impressed, and
no, he screamed.
Get me out of here! What is this? This is what he does nowadays. That's very, very fun.
That's powerful stuff, man.
Powerful stuff. Powerful. But hey, it was somewhere here in the video, in the very stream where he was reviewing this. He reviews an Alex Jones documentary about the Crusades and Islam and Christianity and stuff like that. And I made a few bookmarks here while I was going through that, just to highlight a few things very quickly.
Alex Jones did a documentary about the Crusades.
That they were now
of the Crusades. Well, what happened was all the frogs turned gay, so the Crusaders had to go down and take out all these gay frogs.
Muslims were enemies of Christ. They waged wars against non-combatants and enslaved women and children.
Muslims are not enemies of Christ. Why do you not understand that Jesus, peace be upon him, was talked about?
He gets triggered by it. He doesn't understand the context here. The narrator here is saying what Christians knew about Islam at the time of the First Crusade was Muslims were enemies of Christ. So the narrator here is saying this is what people knew about Muslims. This is what they thought. That was their impression. But SNEAKO is like, Muslims are not enemies of Christ.
In the Quran, I think he's mentioned more times than Muhammad, peace be upon him. But Jesus is extremely respected. We love Jesus. I love Jesus. Is it even haram to say Jesus is king?
Yes.
I would say Muhammad. I would say the prophets are kings. You're a king. I'm a king. It's a respectful thing to say. I don't think there's anything wrong with me saying Christ is king. It's a slogan. I don't think that slogan has that much meaning. But
David, what does Christ is king mean?
I mean, it's funny. They call him the Messiah, but they seem to have no concept of what the Messiah is. The Messiah is king of the world, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know what to do when Islam gives him the title of the Messiah. So he's the anointed king of Israel and of the world. And these guys are going along with it, not realizing what they're saying.
Yeah.
Jesus is king right now.
King of kings. But this guy is saying it, but he doesn't. He just gives a modern slang twist to it, like a cool twist to it. It was like, hey, yeah, Jesus is king.
Yeah, because he said that.
I
He
can
said
still
that.
say it.
He said that in at Nick Fuentes rally. He got up and said, "Christ is king," and then all the gripers cheered.
Maybe a Sheikh Uthman or some other Muslim should sit down with him and explain to him why that is a little bit problematic. But of course, their focus is just on applauding him and presenting him as the new face of Islam, so that more people like him can become Muslims.
And they still don't understand the issue of what are you talking about? We believe in Jesus. We believe in Jesus. We love Jesus, and so on. But it's like this completely, like, it's false. No matter how their view of Jesus is completely wrong. No matter how you look at it. If you just go with what the texts say, then they are obviously not respecting Jesus because they're disrespecting what he said. Or if you just go with like the historical Jesus, even from an atheistic or agnostic perspective, it still doesn't line up with Islam. You can look at this any way you want. You can go to any source on Jesus you want. It does not line up with Islam. And so the only comparison here for them to get the point is for people to, like Christians can say, well, I believe in Muhammad, but I believe he was a devout Christian who proclaimed the doctrine of the Trinity, but his followers later corrupted his message.
But hey, we love Muhammad.
Yeah, but see, I love Muhammad. I love the Christian Trinitarian Muhammad who proclaimed that Jesus is Lord, who died on the cross for sins and rose from the dead. See, I love that Muhammad. In fact, I respect Muhammad more than you Muslims because I tell the truth about Muhammad. I tell the truth that he believed in the Trinity and that his followers later came and corrupted his message. See how much I respect him? Now, guys, this is what's amazing, AP. Any Muslim who just heard that would say, that's not respecting Muhammad. That's completely insane and idiotic. Great. Now you know how we feel, guys, when we believe in Muhammad. Well, I mean, we believe in Jesus. We just, we reject everything about him.
I think Muhammad was the greatest prankster in history, and he did a very good job, like at fooling and pranking people. I think in that way, I respect Muhammad.
Yeah, because you like pranks.
Yeah, I like pranks. And
you're saying he's the best, so you have a lot of respect for him as the greatest prankster. I mean, some people do a prank and they fool a couple people. If you're really good, maybe you fool a couple hundred or something like that. I mean, Muhammad fooled literally billions of people, making him the greatest prankster of all time.
Yeah. And so why are people saying I don't respect Muhammad? I respect Muhammad a lot.
Yeah, he respects him. And Allah. I mean, Muhammad's just imitating the great prankster work of Allah, because Allah tricked Christians into believing that Jesus died on the cross. He did that. He took Judas and disguised him as Jesus. And so Muhammad is simply following the example of the other greatest prankster in history. That's Allah. So see, we actually love and respect Allah and Muhammad more than Muslims do.
We respect Allah and Muhammad. Why are people saying we don't respect? We respect Allah and Muhammad. See, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Jesus is.
Why is this so quiet? I don't even understand. Probably because it's a Rumble, which is a garbage platform. I don't know.
I love Jesus with my whole heart.
And they had conquered all of Iberia and
just a man isn't God. It's just that's so dude can't be God.
And threatened France and Italy. It was important that this all happened.
So, there's an even better part, I think. So.
People say the Crusades failed, but did they? Europe was Christian when the Crusades were launched, and it's still majority Christian today, 1,000 years.
No, wait. If you think about it, is Europe still majority Christian? It's kind of Look around Great Britain.
What's funny is he still uses that sound, Allahu Akbar, as a joke. Okay, there's this one part where he talks about Jesus, and
it's been happening for thousands of years. Okay, it's never gonna end. Yo, $100 from Amadan. Thank you, man.
Oh, hey, I just looked it up. In 2017, Europe's population was 77.8% Christian. That's 2017. Europe's population was 77.8% Christian, up from 74.9% in 1970. So it actually increased. It actually increased. It says these changes were the result, largely the result of the collapse of communism.
You see, Islam is winning. Whatever that means.
So, SNEAKO, you're wrong. But no, because I heard Andrew Tate say that Christianity has collapsed and blah, 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 blah.
How is this not offensive toward Muslims? Said Stefan Miljevic. This is something I see from foreigners when they see Orthodox Christianity and cherry pick some weird practice and say to me, wow, your religion is so exotic. Yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be considered. Muslims just
be God. God is one and none is like him. In the Bible,
and we know this because world-renowned scholar of religions, SNEAKO, says it. And who knows better than SNEAKO? I mean, he figured out he had to reject the Bible because the Council of Nicaea was taken out of it.
Yeah.
$100 from Amadan. Thank you, man. No man, no prophet can be God. God is one and none is like him. In the Bible, who did Jesus pray to? Christians in the chat. Who did Jesus pray to?
Oh my goodness, we've never heard that one before. Hey, AP, quick question. Who did Allah pray to in Surah 33:56 of the Quran?
Muhammad, of course. Well,
No. He prays for Muhammad, not to Muhammad.
Oh, sorry.
We're asking who he's praying to.
He's praying for Muhammad, not to.
For anyone who's actually confused by that little issue that SNEAKO just brought up, because when we say Jesus is God, they always go, okay, well, what? Well, he prayed. Yeah, you can't leave out the whole incarnation part. You can't leave out the whole Trinity part and the incarnation part. That Father and Son have a relationship for all eternity. For all eternity, they have this relationship. Then the Son, incarnate as Jesus, is he going to be an atheist, or is he going to continue that relationship with the Father? In which case, as a man, how would he do that? Through prayer. See, guys, you can reject it. You can say, I don't believe in the Trinity. I don't believe in the incarnation. You can say all of that, but at least be clear on what you're rejecting. You act like we're Unitarians who don't believe in the incarnation, then you attack us based on that position. The point is, assume, for hypothetically, God is a Trinity, and then assume hypothetically the Son enters creation as a man, Jesus of Nazareth. Would he then continue speaking to the Father? Yeah. So you have to reject it on some other grounds, but to just say, oh, well, he's praying. Who's he praying to? So no great mystery in Christianity how that works. Yes, I would agree. The Christian view does not make sense apart from the Trinity and the incarnation. But we're Trinitarians who believe in the incarnation, so you can't dismiss it on those grounds. With that said, who's Allah praying to in Surah 33, verse 56 of the Quran? It says he's praying. It says he and the angels pray, so you pray for Muhammad. Allah and the angels pray for Muhammad, so you pray for Muhammad. Who's Allah praying to? Notice you got two options. He's praying to himself, or he's praying to someone else who would then be greater than him. Those are options. Beautiful. But notice, either way, so either Allah is praying to himself, or he's praying to someone else who is greater than him. Those are the options available to you. If you don't have a problem with either one of those options, then even if we ignore the Trinity and the incarnation, what would you be complaining about Jesus for? Because that's what you say about Jesus. Oh, he's praying. Is he praying to himself, or is he praying to someone else? My goodness, man. It's not like this. It's like they build the confusion into their claims rather than act. And this goes right back to Islam. I mean, keep in mind, the Allah of the Quran doesn't understand what Christians believe any better than SNEAKO does. Allah does not understand Christianity better than SNEAKO, who knows absolutely nothing.
Oh, you have to. You should wait and see what he says next about that.
Well, I'm just finding that interesting because we're sitting there thinking, this is so stupid.
I know,
but I'm thinking Allah in the Quran actually knows less about Christianity than SNEAKO does. Right? Like, Muslims, your God does not rise to the level of SNEAKO in his knowledge of other religions.
Hold that thought. Look at this.
One God. Sounds like Jesus was a Muslim. Mashallah. God is one and there's none like him. God is unimaginable and cannot be compared to anything. We should all believe in that God. Plain and simple. We love Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. And Abraham.
Wait.
Very simple.
It's very simple. As long as you ignore everything. Just
look,
go with God.
Look what he's going to say now.
Prayed like a Muslim.
Look.
Yeah, like God prayed to himself. You realize that? But like, it just makes no sense. If Jesus is God, what? Imagine God, imagine God. Please, can my family, bro, what?
So wait, Jesus is the Son of God, right?
No, I mean, that's what Christians believe. But and it's like, how could
look at his reasoning now.
I'm looking at the comments. Allahu Akbar, oh, so great, it's so great. Yeah, I love it. You're almost as ignorant as our God is.
But he's going to give a reason now, and I want you to hear that.
That's
reason.
going to be good.
Jesus be the sole Son of God without a mother? Who's the mother of God? If God is the father of Jesus, who's the mom?
You're asking the wrong person.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Where did you hear that before, that argument, David?
Jesus is a person, was a person like all the other people. And of course, he was a prophet. And
like, how is no one pointing out? Okay, guys, so you have the Quran. And in the Quran, Allah says, how can they say Allah has a son when he has no wife or partner or consort, or however you want to translate it? How can they say Allah has a son when he has no wife? So the message of the Quran is that Allah would need a wife in order to have sex with if he wanted to have a son. So that's one issue. Notice Allah has no clue what we mean when we say Jesus is the Son of God. We're not talking about God producing an offspring in some sort of biological sense. So that's one issue. The other issue is the Quran completely contradicts itself on this point, because when Mary is approached by the angel Gabriel, tells her she's going to have a son, she replies, how can I have a son when no man has touched me? And the angel's response, again, it's the angel Gabriel according to Muslims, not according to what the Quran says. But the angel appears and says, you're going to have a son. She says, how can I have a son when no man has touched me? And he replies, it's easy for Allah. He just has to say be, and it is. So notice, if Allah is going to have a son, can't happen. It's impossible unless he has sexual intercourse with a woman to produce an offspring. But Mary, who raises the exact same objection, how can I, who haven't been touched by a man, have a son? And it's, what are you talking about? It's easy for Allah. He can just do that. Boom, son. Boom, son. Boom, son. Boom, son. Boom, son. There's no problem at all. So notice the contradiction. You can't have a son without a husband and wife, or male and female, according to Allah. But also according to Allah, no, you don't need both. You just, you can just have one. And that's fine. It's easy. It's easy for him.
He can do whatever he wants. And that's a very nice thing here to bring up. So here is this verse. It says, she said, my Lord, how will I have a child when no man has touched me? The angel said, such is Allah. He creates what he wills. When he decrees a matter, he only says to it, be, and it is.
See? It's easy for him.
It's very, very easy. He just says be. And
just says be, son.
He says be. And
just says be, son.
And here, on the other hand, in chapter 6, verse 101, you say he is the originator of the heavens and the earth. How could he have a son when he does not have a companion?
It's impossible.
And he created all things.
Possibly, it is no possible way for the creator of the universe to make it. Keep in mind, we're not even talking about Christian theology now. This has nothing to do with Christian theology. He doesn't understand it. He thinks we're talking about. We're just saying, if God, according to Islam, wanted to make a son, no, it's impossible. He can't do it without a wife. And then Mary, hey, how can I have a son without having a husband? What are you talking about? It's easy. Watch. Boom. Done. B. There's your son. Pow. B. There he is. Boom. It's so easy. He can just boom do that. Oh, okay, so if he wants to make a son, he can just do that. No, it depends on what we're talking about.
Yeah. See, this is look at it this way. Let's say this here is one person, okay, and this one is the other person. This is a discussion, a debate. This person says, how could he have a son when he does not have a companion and he created all things? And the other person comes in and says, such is Allah. He creates what he wills. When he decrees a matter, he only says, be. And it is.
Be, son.
Yeah. See? The Quran is like, this here is the idiot here who's like, how can this even work? How is this even possible? And then this other guy here comes like, this here is the genius. He comes, you idiot. You idiot. This is Allah. He creates what he wills. He just says, be. And it comes into existence. But hey, wait a minute. This is both the same person. It's both Allah revealing these verses. How did that happen? How did that happen? Oh, no.
One of life's great mysteries.
Well, how can the word of the same God be in contradiction? Well, he is Allah. He's the creator of everything. He just says be, and then there's a contradiction. See?
You see? You want to understand how there could be a contradiction? How can there be a contradiction if you are Lord? Easy. I just say be. There's the contradiction. Pow.
Yeah.
In your face. Oh,
Yeah.
contradiction. Pow.
Ooh.
Contradiction. Pow.
B, contradiction. There you have it. Contradiction. B, contradiction. So, SNEAKO, there's your question answered. You believe in the virgin birth of Jesus, which, according to the Quran, can just happen, and also happens for no reason, by the way. SNEAKO, if you are following this, please watch this part. You should probably understand. You should understand one thing: there is no reason why Jesus would be born from a virgin. There is no reason to it at all. The whole point of that is, in Christianity, is that this is the sign that he is the Son of God. Why is Jesus the only person in Islam who is born of a virgin? Why?
The real Masquerade says, so Allah has self-esteem issues. That made it kind of funny. Like if you're asking Allah why he can't have a son, and he's like, well, I'm old and I don't have any Viagra, right? Notice that would make us saying, oh, I'm old and I don't have any Viagra would make as much sense as, I can't. I don't have a wife.
I don't have a companion. I don't have a companion. How could I possibly have a child? How could I have a son if nobody wants to go out with me?
Do people not understand how insane that is? Like, this is Allah, the creator, who can create anything, and no, you can't. But he can't do that. It's like, hey, can Allah make me a sandwich? No, he doesn't have a wife to make a sandwich for you. Like, wait, what? I thought he's like this all. I don't know, man.
But hold on, Allah just says be, and then there's the sandwich. Just like in this case, he says.
Yeah, you go to one verse, Allah can just say be, and there's a sandwich. You go to another verse, no, Allah can't possibly make the sandwich without a wife to do it.
How can Allah make a sandwich when he doesn't even have a wife?
Doesn't even have a wife to make the sandwich for him. You don't think he's going to make a sandwich by himself, do you?
Oh boy.
Don't disrespect. I'm not disrespecting Jesus at all. I'm saying that you guys are believing something that doesn't make any sense.
In Islam, there's just like one God, pretty much, right? And there's no like son of gods or like what's the structure?
No, nobody is. There's no children of God. God didn't have children. God didn't have children. When people are saying Mary, a lot of you guys disagree about that. And also, one thing that you guys need to disagree about: why Catholics, you pray to a woman?
Look at that.
You guys have a prayer. You say the Holy Mary, Mother of God, blessed. Like you pray to a woman.
The problem here is that Mary is a woman, not that Mary is a human. It's that Mary is a woman.
Yeah. So notice this is the guy. If he's learned his Islamic prayers already, this guy speaks directly to Muhammad in his daily prayers multiple times per day.
But it's a man. It's not a woman.
If he's doing, so that's okay. Yeah. But if Muhammad were a woman, then it would be bad.
He's doing. Yes.
Keep in mind, everyone. Someone earlier brought up the satanic verses. There was a time when the Quran declared that you can actually pray to 3 pagan goddesses, Alat, Alusa, and Manat. Muhammad delivered that revelation to his followers. His followers bowed down in honor of the revelation, and the pagans bowed down in honor of it too, because Muhammad had spoken favorably of their goddesses. Then later on, Gabriel came to Muhammad and said, "Hey, what are you doing telling your followers that they can pray to these 3 pagan goddesses? Now you've got your entire community praying to pagan goddesses. What's going on here?" He said, "Oh, I tricked, Satan tricked me," and so on. But think about that, because I mean that has implications for the entire Muslim community. The entire Muslim community who had learned Islam from Muhammad himself. Nevertheless, they learned Tawheed from Muhammad himself. Nevertheless, when Muhammad stepped out and said, "I have a revelation. Now we pray to these 3 pagan goddesses," they all go, "Okay." Why? Because they hadn't been trained with any sort of accurate theology or anything like that. They've been trained to mindlessly agree with Muhammad on everything. If he had come out and said, "Hey guys, now we're praying to 10,000 pagan goddesses," they'd have done that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And if Muhammad hadn't come back later on and said, "Oops, the devil made me do it," they'd still be praying to those 3 pagan goddesses, simultaneously claiming that it's all pure oneness in Islam. Because that's what they do, right?
Yeah, it was in chapter 53, verses 19 and 20, and further on, where, according to the early sources, Muhammad recited, "Have you considered Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and Al-Manat, the other one, the third? Those are intercessors, that you can hope for, that you can basically pray to." But then later, Jibreel comes like, "Muhammad, what are you doing? I didn't tell you that. That was Satan." And Muhammad is like, "Oh, okay. So what are the real verses then?" And he's like, "No, you have to say, is it for you the males and for him the females?"
There are so many interesting issues involved in that. So, I already pointed out like how Muslims had been trained and conditioned to just mindlessly accept anything Muhammad says, even if he completely contradicts his own revelations, and they would just accept it. But then notice, according to the story, Muhammad could not tell the difference between a revelation from God and a revelation from Satan. He couldn't tell the difference.
And look at this beautiful reasoning here, which is very close to SNEAKO. "So have you considered Al-Lat and Al-Uzza and Manat, the third, the other one?" Allegedly, according to the early Muslims, which was later only contested, here was another verse that said they are, exalted.
These are the exalted cranes whose intercession is to be hoped for. But then Jibreel came in and was like, "No, that wasn't me. That was Satan. Shut it down. That was Satan. Don't you know the difference between me and Satan?" No.
And Muhammad was like, "You both look the same. How do
you look exactly the same? How am I supposed to tell the difference between you?"
So
I'm Allah's greatest prophet, but I can't tell if I have the angel Gabriel over here and I have Satan over here. I don't know which one's which. It's exactly the same to me.
And then he's like, "Oh, now I have to give them the proper verses." They don't care anyway. They just eat up whatever I say. So yeah, instead of that, let's just do this then. "Is the male for you and for him the female? Then that then is an unjust division." Those are just names that you named, you and your forefathers. Allah sent down no such authority. But what's funny here is the reasoning. "Is the male for you and for him the female?" Says these are supposed to be the daughters.
Wait, yeah, what? I got to have daughters and not sons? You guys get the sons and throw out your daughters, but I get daughters? Huh?
That's very unjust. Why do you have sons and I have daughters? that is Allah's reasoning. It's like, why are you ascribing daughters to me? Why do you have sons and I have daughters? Isn't this unjust?
There are all kinds of other issues here as well. So like for the first 2 centuries of Islam, first century and a half to 2 centuries, this was taken as a fact, right? This was taken as a fact. Like everyone knew this. Then what happened is that theology changed because Muslims had a doctrine called Ismat al-Anbiya. That's Allah's protection of the prophets. And originally, what the doctrine of Allah's protection of the prophets meant was that Allah would protect a true prophet from persisting in any sort of major sin. And shirk is definitely a major sin. Okay. So Allah would not allow a true prophet to persist in a sin like shirk. He would take him out of it. And so notice this story fit perfectly with that. This story fit perfectly with that. Like Muhammad promotes polytheism. He tells his followers that they can pray to these pagan goddesses and so on. He's promoting shirk, the worst possible sin. But Allah takes him out of that. He gets him out of it. So that fit perfectly. Eventually, their theology changed. Their doctrine changed because it was evolving. Their doctrine changed to Allah will protect his true prophets from committing any sort of major sin. And once you've declared that Allah will protect your prophet from any major sin, you obviously can't have your prophet delivering verses from the devil, convincing people to pray to pagan goddesses. So they started scrubbing it from their sources. And so you see how, I mean, they literally rewrite the history of their prophet based on their evolving theology and theological conflict. So they rewrote the history of Muhammad to do away with that story. And the one final additional problem, I mean, there are more, but another big one is that Muhammad eventually replaces this with things that are every bit as pagan, but they just don't see it. So notice the idea that the Alat, Alus, and Manat are these exalted cranes whose intercession is to be hoped for, is that, you know, we read in the Muslim sources that Allah has to lower down to the nearest heaven and stuff to hear people's prayers and so on. The idea of Alat, Alus, and Manat, they would carry your prayers up to Allah. So that's why they're intercessors. They intercede for you with Allah. So they're these like bird goddesses. That's why they're called exalted cranes. But notice, in the Hadith, Muhammad says the same thing about chapters of the Quran. He describes these chapters of the Quran as flocks of birds who intercede for you with Allah. So notice, I mean, any Muslim right now, if you said, hey, would Alat, Alus, and Manat be a bunch of pagan nonsense? Would that be pagan if you had Alat, Alus, and Manat, these three bird deities interceding with Allah for you? Would that be pagan? Oh, yes, that would be pagan. That would be associating partners with Allah. Okay. Well, what if it's chapters of the Quran that are conscious, that have their own personalities and memories, that have their own cognitive abilities, they're personal agents? What if they're actually flocks of birds that are interceding for you on your behalf with Allah? Is that pagan? No, it's not. That's pure monotheism. It's interesting. It's like Muhammad takes all of the elements of paganism of his time and he just gives them, he inserts himself in there. He inserts the black stone in there. He inserts chapters of the Quran in there. It's like replacement paganism. It's every element that you had in paganism. He gives you an Islamic substitute that does the exact same thing, but it's somehow pure monotheism when he says it.
Yeah. I don't know why there are a bunch of SNEAKO fans in the chat. It's very interesting. Maybe they're trying to imitate Nick Fuentes and his troll army.
That'd be cool.
That'd be funny. SNEAKO fans, if you want to say something, make a super chat. At least $50. I will respond to it then.
Yeah. Hey, SNEAKO fans, if you want us to say something.
Plus, I will turn on subscriber mode. So while you're here, please subscribe and leave a super chat, and I will read your message. So for those who weren't there at the very beginning to catch what happened, the issue here is I wanted to specifically talk about one stream where SNEAKO was expressing that there is nothing to do in Islam, and Islam is very boring and he doesn't know what to do, and he was asking the chat for help because, you know, he can't do anything. What do you do? What is not haram in Islam? But the chat couldn't give him any answers, and that was a very, very interesting moment. But unfortunately that stream is taken down. It's not there anymore. It is taken down, maybe because somebody told him that is very inappropriate. I don't know why, but that stream is gone. It's not here anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar with like Andrew Tate taking down some things that Muslims were like, you need to take that down. It's like when he challenged people, I dare you to try desecrating the Quran like this, and a bunch of people did it. Like, hey, Tate, you need to take that stuff down, man. And he took it down. So it's SNEAKO. If you want to be the champion of the Islamic community and under their ongoing protection and to receive all the blessings associated therewith, you have to be encouraging Muslims and telling them that it's great and not saying how much it sucks.
Inshallah. Snide said, haven't been able to catch any streams from you or David in a while, but hey, I can finally donate. Thanks again for the unban. God bless. Oh yeah, Snide is is somebody who I accidentally banned for some reason from this channel.
Accidentally.
I don't know why it happened. Maybe because he was making too many super chats or something, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'm done with this. Get out of here. And so I blocked and banned this person for some reason. But then he went on to David's channel and said, "Hey, why am I banned on your channel?" And I could not explain why. So I found Snide and unbanned Snide again. And thank you very much.
Justice.
I appreciate it. Justice has been served. Glad to have you back. Riziko LP said, your opinion on the German left, which defends Isla. La Isla. No, I don't know. I don't follow much about the German politics anymore. Germany has a party that is called Die Linke, which is literally the left. And they are pretty much socialists. And they have I think they even had like fighting Islamophobia on their website as one of the core values that they care about so much.
Isn't this interesting that it's, I mean, now they're trying to build bridges with like the far right. But I mean, for decades, Islam has been linked to the extreme far left, when the extreme far left would be the first thing wiped out if Islam ever took over.
Yeah.
And so it was just sort of, let's lump everyone together that considers themselves victims in some way, and we'll all be on the same side.
Yeah, this is the party, Die Linke, the left, where they have among their stuff that they want to do is to fight Islamophobia or animosity to Islam.
Islamfeindlichkeit, ja.
Islamfeindlichkeit, yeah. It's
Ich mag das.
But what I find so funny about this is a party like this would be brutally attacked in Muslim countries and wouldn't be tolerated very much with their social political ideas. But in Europe, they think, oh, we have to care about Islamophobia. We have to do something about this. It's just ridiculous, man. Have some self-awareness. Idiots.
Well, they're finding out. By the way, along those lines, I was just thinking about like the guys who are calling for more intolerance. You got Andrew Tate saying Islam is the most extreme right position there is, and you got Ali Dawa in the context of like, I mean, it's clear he's talking about like LGBTQ stuff and so on. That people are converting to Islam because of our intolerance. And it's like, notice you've got all these Muslims in the West calling for more intolerance, saying that intolerance and being more aggressive is the path forward for them. And then, you know, you actually see the results of that. I mean, you see the impact that attitude already existed in places like Pakistan. You see they're running around burning churches and so on. But even in the video I shared on Twitter,
you want to
Jono from Speaker's Corner was just street preaching and got banged up by Muslims. But
oh yeah,
notice, I mean, that's in London. That's in London. Got a mob jumping on him in London. So it's like, and you know, what do you say when, you know, Hatoun gets hit in the face, Hatoun gets stabbed. They actually stopped a guy on his way to go kill her. And then you've got people like Ali Dawa saying that more intolerance is the way to go. And then he doesn't actually do it. It's other people who actually go out and do it. But you've got the preachers calling for intolerance and violence and so on. And then you've got the people actually going out and doing it. And it all seems totally fine with everyone.
And look at this. Speaking of all of that, all of those beautiful values, let's listen to this.
Impossible.
Does the friendship mean a lot? Friendship with men?
You know this video,
Oh
right?
yeah, I like that.
Oh, you give them a little slap. I remember this.
Yeah. I think
You just got to give them a little slap like Muhammad.
Look what SNEAKO says now.
That's one of the pleasures of golf as well. I'm not mad. I don't like playing golf with women, no matter how good they are. I really don't.
Your wife
Women don't play golf.
plays golf.
She's a very good golfer, yeah.
Oh, apparently they do.
You
But
don't
I
like to play with
very
her.
often with her, no.
Why not?
Because I don't like playing golf with women.
Why not?
I like the company of men better at golf.
Why?
It's very difficult to explain. It's just
It's not that difficult to explain. Women are annoying. Like,
it's more pleasurable playing golf with men than women.
Years ago, you did an interview, which may come back to haunt you.
where he said that he wants to slap women, right?
You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an
I
interview
want
in
to
which you
slap
said,
women.
not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember you.
Based? Wait, Chad. No. Everybody's going to spam W domestic violence. Come on. Unless she hits first.
You said you don't do it with a clenched fist. It's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't.
No.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything.
If she's mouthing off.
And women are pretty
Actually, it almost says the exact same thing in the Quran.
good at this.
Dude, you gotta cut that right now. Dude, just cut that. Little intro. Little SNEAKO agrees with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Intro, then
is-
conclusion.
That is
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
What would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty.
Actually, it almost
If
says
you-
the exact same thing in the Quran.
If you've admonished them and banished them to beds apart, then of course you beat them.
I don't know why I'm getting these horrible translations here. It's supposed to get Sahih International only. I like that one. Here, men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other and what they spend from their wealth. So righteous women are devoutly obedient, guarding in the absence what Allah would have them guard. But those wives from whom you fear arrogance, first advise them. Then, if they persist, forsake them in bed and finally strike them. It then says here lightly.
In
but
brackets,
it doesn't
lightly.
actually say that anywhere. And that is just based on opinion. But if they obey you, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and grand. So they are supposed to obey you. You first try to, if you fear arrogance, fear disobedience, you're supposed to first talk to them. If it doesn't work, separate beds or don't sleep with them. And if that doesn't work, then go and beat them.
By the way,
And,
that fear part is actually the creepiest part of the verse, even more so than the strike them, because it's what makes you allowed to do this? What is a just cause for you to beat your wife? Well, if you simply fear arrogance or rebellion or something like that, notice your wife doesn't have to do anything. She could be the best, most obedient wife in the world. If you're just a dirtbag who's paranoid and stuff, I fear when I'm not around, she's messing around. I fear that she's going to be arrogant against me. You just beat the crap out of her.
Yeah.
And again, in the hadith, we see what these beatings were actually like, because you've got in Sahih al-Bukhari where a man beat his wife until her skin turned green.
That's what
So-
Aisha said. Aisha said that the women in Islam were have suffered the most, and their skin would turn green from the beatings.
With all of that said, so that's it's dirtbag position to talk about beating women, but it's funny that Sean Connery just doesn't care. Isn't that funny? Like he just does not care. Oh, of course, I haven't changed my mind on that. Of course, you just got to give him a little slap.
Yeah.
They can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again.
Yeah, like, here they go, yak 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 yak. So you give them a little slap.
Really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds like Sean Connery is Muslim. Maybe it was true.
Say, dude, you gotta cut that, man. That's awesome.
SNEAKO is not doing Islam any favors here. Whenever he opens his mouth about Islam, he just says some really dumb stuff. I'm wondering why this is still up.
You gotta make the title based SNEAKO and put 3 capital K's in SNEAKO. Based SNEAKO. I go with that.
It's funny because
Based SNEAKO agrees with Sean Connery about beating women.
I can imagine somebody else who dislikes Islam or who mocks Islam to say something like this, and then here's SNEAKO, who is supposed to advertise for Islam because he gets benefits for that. He then says, "Sounds like he's a Muslim."
Right.
Look at all the based. Beat
her ass, mashallah, slap, choke, based.
It sounds like Sean Connery is Muslim.
Isn't it funny, by the way, that like, and in fact, if you wanted to make a video about it, that's the takeaway point. It's someone saying he beats women is an identifying characteristic of a Muslim. Not according to me, not according to you, according to SNEAKO. SNEAKO just said it. Well, Sean Connery didn't say anything else in there except if a woman keeps pushing your buttons, you give her a slap and teach her a lesson. And that's enough for SNEAKO to say, you see, he's a Muslim. Doesn't matter what his theology is. He can believe in 1,000 gods, no God. As long as you're like slapping the crap out of women, that makes you a Muslim, according to SNEAKO. That's wild stuff, man.
Yeah. La, 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 la. All right.
Jake helping Dylan Dan is beefing with his brother is low.
Okay, yeah, that is that.
Powerful.
That's
Stuff.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Based.
Anyways, what's going on?
Dude, Christian,
Oh, okay.
Christians really
And we love Mary too. Mary is one of the most discussed people in the Quran. Dude, Christian, what?
pray to Mary.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, we love Mary. She's the only woman actually named by name in the Quran. What an honor. No other woman is even named. It's always so-and-so's wife. But here, we actually have her name. That shows you how important she is.
Yeah. You know what? I really wonder at this point what he would say. He would probably give some really dumb answer to that as well. Some red pill garbage. When if you brought up to him the fact that the Quran has no female prophets and that Muslims don't recognize women as prophets, whereas the Bible does have female prophets. I really wonder what he was.
Of course, there can't be a female prophet. Because she'd be ready to say something. Her husband just beats her down into submission. So how's she going to deliver the revelations while her husband's beating her? You're not making any sense, AP.
Hail Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace.
This guy was Catholic.
Okay. He couldn't even remember that. That's funny. But he was a very devout Catholic at one point, right?
The only line of the prayer he remembered was the line from the Notorious B.I.G. song, which he's not allowed to listen to anymore.
yeah, but still is listening to him. He's also not allowed to have threesomes and have multiple girlfriends, but he still does that. So who cares? Yeah, that's what we're dealing with, bro.
Powerful
stuff. He's doing red pill dawa, where he dismisses Catholicism because Mary is a woman, and that you can't have that. It's just ridiculous, man. Boy, have you talked about the Sunni-Shia split? I mean, it seems obvious to me that the Shia are in the right, or maybe I just read Shia sources. Excuse me, lucid doggo, but even as an ex-Muslim and as a very, very, very anti-Islam person here, who is mostly against the Sunni way of thinking, I have to say Shia is definitely not in the right. I have to take a side here. I think the Shia position is pretty dumb.
Yeah, my view is it's just a mess, and there's no way for us to figure it out, right? Because they're saying that Muhammad had declared that Ali is supposed to take over, and then the Sunnis say no, nope, not how it works, not how it happened, and it's like, I don't know, we weren't there, and all we have are their sources to go on, and so. Yeah, it's a big mess. I have to say, if I were Muslim, I would be Sunni, but I don't know if that's just because I've interacted way more with Sunni sources than with Shia sources over the years. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the Shia are just bad losers.
That's messed up.
A young defiant worshipper said, "If I were a Muslim, I had 4 wives, but wanted to convert to Christianity. How do I get rid of 3 extras?" You have come to the right place with this question, the young defiant worshipper. David is going to answer your question very swiftly and solve this problem once and for all.
Yeah, you just pick the one you like best and keep her.
You continue.
Yeah. So, I mean, were all these wives Muslims? Because they're not going to be allowed to. They're not going to be allowed to marry you, be married to you, once you convert anyway.
Yes. There you heard it. The greatest problem in the universe has been solved.
There you have it.
Here by Dr. David Wood. Thank you, young defiant worshipper, for making this possible. Stop Scamming Man said, Muslim apologists insist humanity is naturally inclined to monotheism. If it was so, we shouldn't see so many civilizations which were polytheists. Also, check how easily tempted by paganism Abraham was. Quran 6:74-78. Now, hold on, Stop Scamming Man. You have David Wood here. We'll probably say the same thing. So you don't want to start a fight. Right?
I've heard, but I haven't done the research on there, but I've heard that there are lots of, like, what they call these these, what do they call them? They're tribes, unreached tribes, like
untouched
tribes, something like that. And I've heard that they do tend towards monotheism when they find them and so on. But you're right, there's tons of polytheism down through history. And so, yeah, the Muslim apologists like Ali Dawa, especially when they're claiming this guy declared. Who was that guy? You remember who that was? I forgot that guy's name.
I forgot his name, but I looked into his research, and he doesn't say anything like that at all.
Yeah, we actually did it. So you got Ali Dawa running around telling all his fans, because this guy has found that the children, they believe in one God, and not the Trinity, one, absolutely one. That's what they believe in as the little babies and so on. And we looked it up, and it's like, no, that's not what he said at all. There's no. What do you do? What do you do when the proponents of an ideology believe that they're allowed to just make stuff up with no repercussions, and their people never, ever, ever, ever hold them accountable? If I made something up like that and I started using it in my videos, I would get called out by Christians way before I got called out by atheists, way before I got called out by Muslims or anyone else. And I know this from experience. I've said stuff while live where I just make a mistake. So I'll give you an example. One day I was live on ABN or the Trinity channel or something like that. And I said, someone was talking about the Gospel of John and how we know what actually goes back to Jesus and so on. And I pointed out, I said, look, we have 5,800 Greek manuscripts of the Gospel of John. And so I went ahead with that. I started getting messages from Christians instantly. It's like, no, David, that's the total number of Greek manuscripts of any part of the New Testament. That's not just Gospel of John there. So the number of the manuscripts of the Gospel of John is fewer than the total number. But notice, it's like you make a mistake, they start correcting you. In Islam, it's just, hey, make up anything you want. And you can make mistakes, but you don't have to be making mistakes. You can just make things up and still be a champion of dawah.
Yeah. I was just looking up what I did on that guy. So that researcher that they are referring to is Justin Barrett, who even here in this article, which highlights his findings, it says concluded that humans are naturally predisposed to believe in gods and an afterlife. It doesn't say one God. Plus, what he also says, this is very funny. Studies by Emily Reed Burdett and Justin Barrett from the University of Oxford suggest that children below the age of 5 find it easier to believe in some superhuman properties than to understand similar human limitations. Children were asked whether their mother would know the contents of a box in which she could not see. Children aged 3 believed that their mother and God would always know the contents. But by the age of 4, children start to understand that their mothers are not all-seeing and all-knowing. However, children may continue to believe in all-seeing, all-knowing supernatural agents, such as a god or gods. So with their reasoning, with Aladawa's reasoning, and these people, should we now say, oh, look, this research from this big university, he said that children are predisposed to think that their parents are almighty and all-knowing. Therefore, this is a natural belief which we all should have.
Yeah, and that's the bigger problem. That is the bigger problem than Alidawa completely just constantly making stuff up and getting everything wrong. The problem is like this completely inconsistent methodology, where if these researchers, which is what Alidawa claimed, if these researchers concluded, if they somehow found that babies are born with an inclination to believe in one Unitarian deity, that's proof of Islam. That's why you should convert to Islam. This is amazing evidence. Okay, what if it's just children, they at first they believe something about their parents, and then they, can apply that to other gods and so on. Does that mean you should believe these things? No, it's completely irrelevant. And there's somehow this constant filter that goes on for the Dawa guys. There could be 10,000 pieces of information in front of them. They will fixate on the one that sort of somewhat lines up, even if you need to twist it and distort it and take it completely out of context. If it somehow can fit in with Islam, they'll go to that one piece of information out of 10,000 and say, you see, this is the proof. What about all this other stuff? No, completely irrelevant. And it's just interesting stuff. Notice they're like that with Bible verses. So you can, read verse 1 completely. You go to a Bible verse, verse 1 completely contradicts Islam. Verse 2 completely contradicts Islam. Verse 3 completely contradicts Islam. You get up to verse 16. Oh, hey, this proves that Islam is true. And I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. But gladly, Aladawa here made a super chat and said, "Keep my name out your mouth, David.
Keep my name out your mouth."
It'll be funny if Aladawa was actually making that super chat here. Obviously, it's some fake account pretending to be Aladawa, but that's funny. James Smith said, "Did you see Fresh and Fit saying saving kids is great, but saving grown men is better?" I have not.
I don't think I've ever seen Fresh and Fit at all. I think that's the one where they sit around with guys and girls with like Nick Fuentes and all these other guys. Is that the one?
What they
where
do
they sit
is,
around with a bunch of girls?
Yes, they have this large table. They invite a few guys, and then they invite all of these girls with big boobs and things like that. There, who are like online. Who have their profiles on OnlyFans and Instagram and this and that, and then they put them all on the thumbnail to attract all the viewers, and then they want to make them look as dumb as possible. And if it turns out that one of those girls is actually very smart, then they kick her out. So it's one of those shows.
That's actually really smart, right? So we'll just we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna get all these OnlyFans girls on here to get viewers to watch, and we're gonna have our discussion. And then it works out for the girls because then the guys are going to their pages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's smart. People, I did see people pointing out that what Alidawa was doing when he had the Muslim guys and Muslim girls lined up, that he was trying to be like Fresh and Fit.
Yeah. There were some videos that I saw. Actually, somebody else, a different streamer. I think it was, what was her name? Rachel Oates or something like that. She broke down some of that fresh and fit stuff very well, and she shows how they have this thing, like they invite these girls, and their whole point is just to be like, see, they are whores, they're stupid, they're dumb. This is why women should be treated like this and like that. And then when it turns out that they didn't really do their research very well, and one of those women doesn't fit their profile, and she actually starts arguing with them and turns out to be intelligent and makes them look dumb, then one of the hosts, Myron, and the others get angry and they kick them out. There are quite a few instances of them kicking out those girls after they argue back.
Was Andrew Tate ever on there? Because
yeah, he was.
I feel like I've seen some. Just cannot recall what it was. So, like, I know I've seen pictures of Nick Fuentes in there. But yeah,
He actually explained his whole webcam business and luring women and things like that on one of those.
Oh, maybe that's what I saw because I've seen a bunch of tape clips.
I recently got access to a huge library of tons of folders that Andrew Tate's own team apparently put together, which was leaked to some people who are closely following the whole War Room Andrew Tate stuff. And I got access to that. I saw all of their clips. They have these folders named Matrix Agents, Defenders of Andrew Tate. They have a lot of unreleased stuff, released stuff. What's funny is they mention the streamer Destiny among the Matrix Agents. I told Tim about that. He was very excited about that. And I saw there some of the clips from that as well. I might pull that up sometime. But yes, so Fresh and Fit is basically the lowest form of, I don't even know what to call it. It's just complete garbage, complete stupidity. This whole, we are men, we are strong, we are supposed to, have as much sex as possible. And the women, they should just obey us. They're stupid, they're whores. It's one of those places. It's like, who in the world is actually watching that genuinely and following it and supporting it? Do you people have trash for brains? I don't even know. But yes, to the point. No, I haven't seen that. No, because it's very hard for me to actually watch their stuff. They are a bunch of idiots. I think they recently got demonetized for being completely ridiculous over.
What's crazy is, I mean, what could these guys? These guys all talk about saving men and stuff, and it's like, what are you doing to save men? You're getting guys to treat women like garbage, and that's somehow saving men or something? I don't know.
Yeah. They're stupid. Very, very stupid. Their channel is still there, but they have been demonetized, and they were just crying about how they were demonetized. And I don't want to laugh about people getting demonetized.
I've actually seen a ton of people over the past couple of days get demonetized. Have you seen it? Have you noticed?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
I've been getting all kinds of messages, people's privileges being. But 2 days ago, I saw on, I think it was CNN, that there's a lawsuit against YouTube for somehow promoting stuff that has led to terrorist attacks and so on, and they're being sued because of that. So anyway, there's currently another purge going on.
Yeah. I could be demonetized. Others could be demonetized, and I would think, okay,
we will.
But people like these guys, Fresh and Fit, when they are demonetized for doing something ridiculously horrible, these people, they are not even for free speech. They're not even for all the good values that we have. They are just complete scumbags, and I don't feel bad at all for such people getting it, to be honest. Why would I? Yes. Muslim apologists make a big deal about the New Testament texts being copies of copies of copies, while the Quran is early copies. What of the Hadith, which they insist are utterly critical? The whole Hadith science is just, it is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Plus the Quran itself. Muslims keep saying that they have evidence of the Quran being perfectly preserved from the very beginning, from when it was revealed. In reality, such a thing is not there. You don't have any evidence of such a thing.
Yeah, putting it together was a disaster that only occurred because so much of it was already being lost, and they realized human memory is a terrible way of preserving a big book. So then the only reason you actually have the Quran as a book is because they started losing so much of it that they didn't want to lose anymore. So we'll get a copy written down. That was not to be put out as the Quran. That was just so we have a safeguard against people losing more of it. We have a copy. But then as Islam spread, you spread into new areas, people needed copies of the Quran because now you've got new converts and so on. So people started making their own Qurans, and then it gets reported back to Uthman that people are now reciting different Qurans, and this is going to cause division because people are going to side with different versions of the Quran. He orders everyone to hand them over, burns them all, puts out his official copy, and you don't even have those official copies. So, I mean, by the time you get to anything you actually have, it's later. And I can't leave out the fact that in the Quran, Allah affirms the inspiration and the preservation and the authority of the Jewish and Christian scriptures. And so when Muslims say, your book's been corrupted and it was copies of copies of copies and so on, that doesn't work for Islam. Allah is protecting it. Allah is protecting his revelations. And if you want, you can go to, I made a video. It's on my channel. You can check it out. But I went through every single Quran verse that mentions the scriptures of the Christians, every single one. And there's not one of them that even slightly hints at corruption. All the Quran ever does is affirm our scriptures.
Yeah.
So, in other words, they're the problem. They're the ones with the problem, not us.
Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Goat food. Oh, actually, I got some footage of the Quran being goat food.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be releasing that when they tick me off.
Uh,
So, AP, we actually got funny footage. So, as you know, you've got Sunan ibn Majah. You've got Sunan ibn Majah, 1944, saying that Aisha's sheep ate these missing verses of the Quran. She had the only copy, and a sheep ate them. But there are other sources that say it was a goat. Right? So there's a disagreement about what animal ate them. Well, we actually did the experiment, and it turns out a goat is way, 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 way more likely in this scenario because the goat was just way easier to get to eat the Quran, which you'll all be seeing soon enough because we record fun stuff. Anyway,
that is very, very good footage. Very good stuff.
it's going to be powerful.
Powerful stuff. You were speaking of.
Run a webcam agency. I had 75 girls who worked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Now it connects, right, ladies?
So passionate. He's so
I can see the looks on their faces. They're like, "What is this? What? How does he know this shit?" So,
No, yeah, but
talk about it real quick.
I had 75 girls who worked on me. This worked for me. This is about.
Oh, this is Fresh Fit. Okay,
This
I've
is
seen this.
Fresh and Fit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
So it was before OnlyFans, and it was on webcam, and it was based out in Europe, and they'd sit there on the internet, and they'd talk to dudes, and they'd make a whole bunch of money, et cetera, et cetera. And the girls would primarily do it. They were either doing it for me, for my brother, or nearly every other girl who worked for us was married. She was doing it for her man. The idea that it was all purely independent woman, blah, 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 that's very new age. A lot of it was just, look, this is the job. I can make a whole bunch of...
This is so funny. He's talking very, very, in a very much innocent way compared to the stuff that he also put out in different videos. He was also, this outfit, I think that's from the same show. Lots of videos where he talks about
good stuff,
and I have all of it together here, which was actually very conveniently put together by his own people and then leaked, and now I have it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, is SNEAKO the Mahdi? He definitely is. I would say, yeah, yes, no question.
So I mean, it's him or Tate. It's one or the other.
Tate is going to go to prison, so it's probably not it. Stefan Milevich said this is more fake than Logan Paul apology video. Oh, you mean the reaction of SNEAKO to it?
So SNEAKO's react.
Sid Dave said jihadis justify Armenian genocide as revenge for Christian Armenians and Georgians assisting Mongols to destroy the caliphate in 1258. Going to a lot of events here, but yeah.
The Armenian genocide in the 20th century.
Yeah. Fakar said, "Hope he realizes Islam is no different." Jim Farb should do a parody on the Offspring original Prankster. What is that? I've never heard of it.
Is that a song?
I don't know. I've never heard of it. Never heard of that. King Maria made a super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Saint Trouble Miracle Worker said Pakistani Christians in 2 days, 21 churches burned down. What?
Yeah. So, original Prankster is a song by The Offspring.
Oh, The Offspring is that one band that also has that one song. That's the only song I know right there.
No.
Pretty Fly for a
They've got
White
this
Guy.
song. Oh, that was them?
I think that was
Pretty
them.
Fly for a White Guy. I was locked up when that came out because everyone was making fun of it.
Yeah. Pakistani Christians in 2 days, 21 churches burned down, 1 graveyard desecrated. There is footage of them actually desecrating a graveyard. 38 houses burned, assets, etc. so far. Why? They heard a rumor that a Christian was blaspheming. I made a video on this in which I talked about this without going much into the detail. David.
Yeah, I've seen. Was that you who pointed it out? I'm trying to think where I saw this because I haven't verified it, but I saw that supposedly they find the desecrated Quran with stuff written on it, and then, oh, and by the way, my name is such and such, and my family is such and such, and here's where I live. I'm a Christian. Like they find, like the person desecrated the Quran and then put all his personal information on where to find him on there.
Sounds very legitimate.
That sounds very, very fake.
That sounds very
like
legitimate.
notice following that method, if you want, you get into an argument with this guy in the village, and you just go, okay, I'll go desecrate the Quran, and oh, it's me. I did it. I'm over here. Come get me.
That's what you do when you get into a fight or when you take something from somebody.
So burn down 21 churches, but respect our book. We're going to slaughter apostates like the apostate prophet, but respect our book and our prophet. We're going to violently subjugate Jews and Christians, but make sure you respect our prophet. You've got to love this. You've got to love this stuff. It's too perfect, man.
David, you were there when this happened, right?
Well, I mean, I was on the other side of that barn.
Oh yeah, that's right. But you see,
this was the AK-47, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Someone let AP hold an AK-47, and then he did that to a Quran.
It wasn't even planned. I was like, we were shooting, and I kept looking at the AK-47, and I said, "Hey, I really want to unload that AK-47 on one Quran," and it was like, "Okay, sure." So I just did it.
Those guns were there just for self-defense, but we've got the footage of that. You people will see it. And before Thaddeus jumps in and says, "No, I have the footage." Yeah, we know you have the footage. We know you have the footage. When I say, that's why I say we as a group, we have the footage.
This is the Quran. This is one of those copies, like those copies that were allegedly ripped up or desecrated or whatever it is, for which people in Pakistan actually went around and burned down 20 churches and burned people's homes down, desecrated grave sites, left people homeless, sleeping out there in fear, in the cold, without their belongings, without food. This is what they did because somebody disrespected this stupid fucking book. This stupid, ridiculous book here.
Hey, you need to bronze that the AK-47.
I want to keep this. Why
are you ruining that, man? That's a priceless. That's a priceless artifact.
I want to keep this as a trophy.
Look, save that one. You can take one of the ones that were mostly eaten by a goat.
Okay, fine.
Rip that one up.
Woo! That was a good throw. Anyway,
by the way, guys. Yes, there's some videos coming out called Quran Demolition Ranch. You'll see them soon enough.
If any Muslim out there ever thinks it's a good idea to destroy buildings, kill people, threaten people, do any of these things because they allegedly disrespected the Quran or because they actually disrespected the Quran, because they actually ripped it up, I will rip up more and more and more. And nobody cares about your dumb feelings. Leave people alone. Let people live. Respect the fact that other people actually let you live, and stop being absolute animals. Stop being absolute ridiculous barbarians who are incapable of living with other humans who don't think like you.
What's amazing is, like, to this day, people still never get the point. Like, why you would do, but David and AP, that's offensive what you did there. You still don't get it, right? Guys, you're in the middle of a clash of civilizations. One says you have to respect our book and our prophet, even though our job is to violently subjugate you. and the other side says you have free speech and you have a right to criticize you want. And then the other side, of course, responds, if you do that, we'll kill you and we'll burn churches to the ground and we'll murder cartoonists. And so what do you do in that situation?
I'm going to sit up.
You can back down. You can back down and change the law, which I just read something that says Sweden is finding a way to ban public Quran burning. So notice you're going to have to change your laws in the West to give Islam a special privileged place in your society that nothing else enjoys. You have to do that. So that's one option. The other option is to just stand your ground, not back down an inch, and say, hey, we're going to look, even if we think that burning books and so on is stupid or whatever, we're going to keep doing it until you get it through your head that violence is not going to solve any issues you have. So
I probably keep some more of this so I can pee on this later.
Yeah, my view is you got to give these guys a crash course. You got to give them a crash course on, yes, in that Sharia compliant hellhole you came from. If you think that someone's desecrating a Quran, you go on a killing spree or you go on a burning spree or whatever you do. That is not going to work. You're not going to impose that rule in the rest of the world. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, and we will not back down. That's the message that needs to be sent. And instead, we've got a few people who are willing to stick with that. But
yeah,
here I stand. Here I stand. I can do no other.
To hell with your stupid book. I'm not even saying half of what I actually have on my mind, but you can just take whatever you want from that. Mashallah, said Derb Dep. Yeah. Is this from the Philippines? What's it? I don't know.
It said B. 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 If Allah wants AP to have $10, he says B, and it is.
It says B, it is. Hey, you know what I do when I just want to rip up a Quran? I don't say B, I just rip it up. Stupid. Dumb book.
This is the most Islamophobic thing I've ever seen in my life.
And I love it. There's going to be more. We have a lot of good footage. The Real Master said, so Allah has... Oh, yeah, we have seen that. Why does Allah have hands, foot, shin, but no PP? That's a very good question, ES 1002. This is... I might make a video on this after I study this more deeply.
Yeah, Anthony has a ton of stuff on there. We should make a few videos because there is some interesting stuff. In fact, I think there are some things about Allah having a PP. It refers to his loins and so on, which is, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm like you. I haven't really studied it in detail, but hey, maybe we should get Anthony on here to break it down for us and pull up sources and so
Probably, yeah. We can talk about, maybe next live stream will be, where is Allah's PP?
Because notice when Allah says that he can't have a son, it's because he has no wife. It's not because he has no pee-pee. Right? If he had no pee-pee, he could have just, well, hey, Allah, why don't you have a son? What are you talking about? I got no pee-pee. Right? He doesn't say that. It's like, I'm all alone here. I got no wife. I have no partner.
Anthony Lafleur
can't find a girl hot enough for me.
Anthony Lafleur said, is SNEAKO having another Beduico? Absolutely. Yeah. Do you remember what SNEAKO did when you made that joke?
Oh, that was hilarious. That's when I realized, oh, this guy's actually funny. Stormed out of the room and then came back in and just stares at the camera. That was funny.
Yeah. Hustred said SNEAKO can't stop having a continually bad weeko. When are we getting an origami stream? Heard the Quran's pages are great for this. Call it Quranigami. That's what it's called already.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. I was gonna make an Quranigami Bugatti for Andrew Tate. I think it will actually look cool, like a Quran decorated origami Bugatti.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check something real quick.
Okay. Off-topic question, David. Off-topic question just when David gets up and goes away. Let's see. Oh, here is Thaddeus. Said, send you both an email about the footage. We'll collect it during our high caliber critiques of Islam. We'll be editing tomorrow, so reply if you can. We will. Pretty sure David is on top of that as well. Thank you, Thaddeus. Mo Truth TV said nowhere in the Quran does it say there aren't female prophets. Also, Shia nor Sunni is mentioned in the Quran. Prophets in the Bible had more than one wife. Nowhere in the Quran does it say that there are no female prophets, but nowhere in the Quran is a female prophet mentioned. And when you ask Muslims about whether there are female prophets or not, it is very much an established tradition that there are no female prophets. Pretty much an established tradition. Oh, look at this. Thomas Villager said, $200 if you burn it live. Very nice offer. Unfortunately, during this live stream, I wouldn't be able to do that anyway, even if you gave me $200, because I'm inside a building and I cannot set something on fire right here. But maybe I could do a live stream just for that some other time. Yep. Where'd David go? He's not gone forever. Apostate Prophets got me red pilled. AP, don't hate red pill. I hate red pill. I don't hate red pill. I just find it ridiculous. Very, very ridiculous. Great show. I'll be at the seminar in September. Looking forward to it. I'll save this for when David is back. I think he's there. I hear him. I hear him approach. I see his shadow. Hey! You see David's hair, he's copying me. He's like, I grew my hair and then he started doing that too.
Hey, wait, did someone say seminar in September?
Yes.
Talking about the R Strong Tower Conference?
Something like that. I don't know. Sheikh Boyardi said, great show. I'll be at the seminar in September. Look forward to it.
Yeah, so he's talking about the R Strong Tower. For those of you in California or driving distance of California, I'll be there. Matter of fact, you're going to have trouble getting a lineup like this. Not only D Wood, you got Hatoun, you got Jay Smith, you got Dan Brubaker. So he's going to be talking about manuscripts and so on. You've got Anthony Rogers, a couple more people, but pretty killer lineup there. And I think, if I recall, the entire thing is about the Quran and various issues related to the Quran. So be sure to check that out.
Be sure to check that out. The only reason it's not it's not being pumped and hyped so much is that I'm not there, which is why it's still boring. If I was going to go there as well, it would be, of course, amazing. I'm looking for something here. Quickly trying to find it. I'm looking for a clip here. Anyway, I'm going to play something here.
What are you looking for?
Off-topic question, David. Do you believe in pre-trib rapture? A quick question, yes or no will. A quick yes or no will do. AP, if a rapture happens, will you become Christian?
No, I don't believe in a pre-trib rapture, but I'm not denying it either, right? Like I can't say I believe in any particular position. So it's basically we've talked about this before. I'm completely content saying, hey, here are 6 different positions, and here are smart people on all these sides and so on. And I don't know, and I've never studied it in detail, and so I normally just withhold coming to a conclusion until I've studied some of these issues. And this is just an issue I've never been terribly interested in because I've always been more interested in other things. So.
Yeah. If it happens, will I become a Christian? Yes or no? No. UFOs are I don't know how to answer this question. Did you guys see the articles recently?
What the heck?
But thank you. I appreciate it. Did you guys see the recent articles with titles like "Transgender Muslim Woman Demands Ex-Boyfriend Return His Frozen Testicles"? What?
There is. Are you searching for that? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Search for that real quick. See, these are the sorts of things where it's interesting to share them, because the Andrew Tate crowd and the SNEAKO crowd, when they see something like that, and if it's about a Christian, they'll say, you see, Christianity is collapsing because of its, because of all these things. But when you have, transgender Muslim this or LGBTQ mosque or something like that, it doesn't bother them at all. You have no audio? you talking? Can't tell.
Oh, New York Post. Why is this? There's just so much advertising.
Did you find it? It's very simple. Transgender Muslim woman
I
demands.
don't see anything about. I don't see any mention of being Muslim though. I see an article from Breitbart which says Muslim woman, but
This will require further research, AP,
yeah,
to decide whether this is an authentic story about a transgender Muslim woman demanding her boyfriend
I would approach everything that
give her
Breitbart posts with
his
a little bit of
testicles back.
skepticism, but I don't know. Not for ideological reasons, simply because it's simply about the source itself and its history with reliability. A Michigan man who identifies as a Muslim woman has filed a legal claim to retrieve his amputated testicles from his ex-boyfriend's refrigerator. What? What is happening? Okay, I don't want to know more. I will look into this later. Thank you, UFOs are real. No, I have not seen that. I don't want to even further know about it, but I think I will read further about this later on. Mr. Simon said, I can't wait for the day when the moon splits and David Wood recites the Shahada. Same.
Too late. The moon already split.
Yeah.
Muhammad did it.
Stop
Tell you
saying
what.
that.
Tell you what. He split Aisha's moon. All right, go ahead.
Why?
You know what's messed up? I was
Yes.
debating Kenny Bomer the first time. I was quoting the hadith, and he was trying to point out that I don't actually believe in the hadith, right? Like, which I do to some extent. It's just how reliable are they? But he, of course, was under this delusion. Oh, if you're quoting the hadith, therefore you must grant all of the hadith. And he wanted to show that I don't grant all the hadith. Therefore, I can't quote these dozens of hadiths about Muhammad having sex with a little girl. And he goes, come on, David, do you believe that Muhammad split the moon? And I thought I was about to say, I believe he split Aisha's moon, right? But I didn't. I was like, no, that may be going too far. And then later on, I was like, no, I should have said that. That would have been like the sickest burn ever.
Oh boy. Whenever somebody says Kenny Bomer, I just feel like I feel like I get a little bit nervous because I think they just said something inappropriate. And Protestant Believer here just commented it and said, haha, Kenny Boner. It's very, very disrespectful. We would never.
Powerful commentary. Protestant Believer. Powerful, insightful, relevant.
Yeah. I'd be worried if the Caliph Uthman appeared in Sweden outside an embassy. Instead, stop scamming, man.
Oh, hey, Harris. I think Harris Sultan. I think I saw a tweet by him. He was asking why Christians aren't in front of the Pakistani embassy burning Qurans to protest what's going on in Pakistan.
Maybe we should do that.
Thought he might have a valid point. Maybe we should roll up on the Pakistani embassy.
Yeah.
With some Qurans.
And more. SSP Michael said, hi, AP and Dr. Wood. Big fan. Please collab with Adam Seeker. Heard of Adam Seeker quite a bit before. Don't know much.
I think I've been on with Adam Seeker before. It's kind of the issue is they're kind of different audiences.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're kind of like different language audiences and so on.
Yeah. They appeal very much to the Indian subcontinent audience, I think. So Lonita Tubal said they memorized the Quran dot for dot, word for word. Now why they don't recite the ones eaten by a goat? Maybe it was an embarrassing content to be part of the Quran. Yeah, it was. That's the story.
I think it's basically massively overestimated by Muslims how much of the Quran was actually memorized back then.
Precisely.
Like they tend to think that there are all these like hundreds of followers who had the Quran memorized and so on. I think you get like there were basically like 4 people who had all of it memorized supposedly, and even they couldn't agree on certain things.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can imagine why that is. I mean, Muhammad's walking around, and there's all these situations going on. And first he's in Mecca and Medina, and then they're on, military campaigns and so on. And as issues are coming up, he's coming out saying, I have a revelation. And it's not in a book form. It's just things he's been reciting over the past 23 years. he then dies, and you say, okay, we need to make a book out of this eventually. Well, it's going to be a pretty messy process. It's going to be a pretty messy process. And that's why you find when Uthman, first Abu Bakr, but when Zayd ibn Thabit was told to compile the Quran, he said it would be easier to move a mountain, be easier to move a mountain than to do this. And which makes no sense. Which makes no sense if there are all these guys who have the Quran memorized and it's in the correct order and everything is easy and stuff. All you need to do is sit some people down and say, all right, I'll start writing. But no, it says it was a nightmare. Why? Because it was a big, messy process. That's why.
I move mountains all the time, and it's not very easy. I have to point that out. Leon said, Muslims gave my dad a Spanish Quran.
Oh, yeah.
Shooting practice.
Yeah, target practice. Yeah, no, seriously. When I put out a little warning, not too long ago, warning these guys who are plotting, because there are people plotting to murder Hatun. Like, they're actually engaged in the plot to murder Hatun. And I said, if they're ever successful, I'm going to launch a pretty massive global Quran desecration campaign. I just wanted to notify everyone. I've heard from multiple people who have access to pig farms who said we're welcome to use those pig farms. And apparently pigs will eat anything if they're hungry enough. And so, guys, do you want, those of you who are desperate to defend the Quran from criticism, so desperate that you are trying to kill Hatun, if you are desperate to defend the honor of your book, do you want it going through the entire digestive tract of a pig? Just keep that in mind. What are you laughing at?
That's funny. I need to see Shaky Booty debate David. We had a debate arranged between Shaky Booty and David, but due to time constraints, it couldn't take place. That is still something that is still planned and might happen in an unforeseeable future. I think both of them are good debaters, Shaky Booty and David Wood. It will happen.
Powerful.
It will make it happen. We'll make it happen. Goat said, leave my family out of this. Shapkalı Fedai, which is Turkish, said, hi from Turkey, stay away from Islam. Thank you very much. Very much. You too, stay away from Islam. You can't, I know. It's very sad. But do try it. Navilak said, I fated on a Quran. Aditya Roy said, is Andrew Tate the greatest Muslim? Yes. And another verse said, bro, for the sake of Yajuj and Majuj, have Orthodox Shahada on already. I've heard so much of Orthodox Shahada. I think, didn't Jay Dyer mention Orthodox Shahada? I think he did. I think he mentioned him. I was recently on Jay Dyer's show on the weekend.
I saw something by Orthodox Shahada. I don't remember what it is.
I'm saying on the weekend. It is the weekend. No, it was actually a few days ago. Yesterday, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, yes, I should. I don't even know. I don't even know who Orthodox Shahada is and what Orthodox Shahada
I
does.
saw a video. I can't remember what it was. Let me look.
13,000 subscribers. I'm even subscribed. See? Okay. Interesting. I'll see. I'll have a look.
What did I see?
What did you see?
What did you see, you people gazing at me? You see a doll in a music box that's wound by a key.
Not a verse. Yes, he did. Okay, yeah. See, I'm remembering it perfectly.
I'm under a spell. I'm waiting for love's first kiss. You cannot see how much I long to be free. I'm on the channel. I'm trying to figure out what video I watched.
Such a privilege to listen to this.
Oh, wait. I just saw it.
Singing.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I saw Quran 547, A Nightmare for Muslims. Yeah, that's the one I watched. Quran 547, just so everyone knows, that's the well, it's one of the verses, but that verse says, let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed therein. It warns you, if you don't judge by, if you're a Christian, you don't judge by the gospel, you'll be condemned by Allah. So it's an interesting verse because it's the exact opposite of what Muslims tell us. Right? Muslims say, whatever you do, don't judge by the gospel. It's been corrupted. Allah says, if you don't judge by the gospel, then you're a rebel and you're going to be destroyed.
Somebody said, where was that? Zephyr said, "Will you ever bring the YouTuber Give Light on the live?" I thought the name was Give Light on the live, and I thought that doesn't mean
That'd be kind of cool. Give light on the live. What?
Yeah.
Yo, it's Give Light on the live here, kicking it live with the squeaky flow. We're gonna break some Quran verses now.
Never heard of Give Light before. Give Light is a Christian YouTube channel that serves to proclaim the truth. I don't usually, I don't collaborate with Christians. I don't like Christians.
Yeah, you can't trust them.
Like, you can't trust Christians.
Got 75,000 subscribers there, so that's
yeah, and it's only 1 year old. That's funny. It's a baby. Interesting. I'll have a look. I'll see.
Oh no, I shared that video back in the day. At the end of the road to Allah, Jesus is the one who's waiting. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I shared that back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on?
I don't like Christians. I don't know.
It's because you're racist.
Yeah, pretty much. The real master said, "Is Alidawa singing?" Yes, that was literally Alidawa singing out of David Wood's mouth. That's what happens.
The only song I like Ali Dawa singing is "We're Proud of That."
All right. Grey Jedi said, "I would love if one day DP and David Wood did a live stream in music format, at least 1 hour long, with voice impressions." That sounds like the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't even know how to do that. Music format?
Yeah, it's gonna just be a musical. You know, we're gonna do a musical together. Fad said he's an ex-Muslim. AP, he's an ex-Muslim. Oh, is that why I watched his video before? I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I hurt myself today.
To see if I still feel.
See, it works. Zagra said, "Need a Playboy edition Quran, 1 page of Quran, 1 page of sexiness, and so on. Target market young Muslims." That sounds actually like a very good idea. That could lead to at least Muslims beginning to read the Quran, since nobody's reading it. Muslims are not reading it at all. They find it boring. They have to be forced. So maybe this is a good idea. This is a good idea for dawah. I will write that down. Leon said, "Would love to see you guys guest on Mug Club." What is Mug Club?
No, that's Steven Crowder's thing. No, AP dissed him. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
AP had a problem with
What I didn't diss him. What did I do? I called him a terrible person.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you say that about anyone you're jealous of.
Yeah, which is basically everyone except me. All right. Let's. I don't know why there are Nick Fuentes fans here. Somebody was saying the Talmud is not holy and stuff like that.
Oh, really? That's Fuentes fans? Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry.
Talmud.
We're gonna crush you guys. You wait your turn. You're kind of at the end of the line because you're like an insignificant little group, groypers and stuff. But don't worry, don't worry, groypers. I will crush you. Just wait your turn.
Gropers. Nobody really cares about Nick Fuentes. Nobody cares about his Groper fans. We did, for some reason, make a show about Nick Fuentes and the Gropers. And
we
demonstrated how dishonest he is.
We thought about doing something comparing the Groper, Nick Fuentes and Muhammad in terms of anti-Semitism.
Nick Fuentes versus Muhammad. Let me see. He posted about us again.
He's posting about us?
He posted about us on his Telegram account again.
What? I don't even know how to get on Telegram to see what he said.
I think he got really upset at us making a stream on him, so he just posts stuff about us now.
Well, how do you say a bunch of I don't know what to say. It really sounded like he was calling for a bloodbath. That's what it sounded like. If they're plotting to kill us, we're gonna kill them first. He said something along those lines. So if you're doing that and then you can't even quote sources accurately and you're quoting stuff that's made up and so on, like, why do you get ticked off when someone responds to you? Like, if you don't want people responding, don't say stupid. I mean, that's what's crazy. The guys who are going around saying all this crazy stuff, trying to stir up violence, it's like, it seems like they want attention. They should be glad when they get attention. but they whine like babies when you respond to them. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So it's funny. I'm looking at his stuff here right now. I just don't want to put it on the screen because it's a Telegram account. But he basically, I think it really got under his skin that we talked about him.
Why?
And
we just did like one live stream. If his groypers hadn't come over and started throwing a tantrum, like people would have probably forgot about that pretty quickly.
He started ranting. Why has it been totally acceptable in the last 10 years to dissect and attack Islam, but Judaism is protected? Many Christian apologists have made a career in the last decade ripping apart Muslims, but they wouldn't dare criticize Judaism. We all know why.
Is that Nick Fuentes?
Yes, that's him talking about.
That's dumb. I've said like 9 times. If you want to criticize something, there's plenty of stuff in the Talmud to criticize. Just cite it in context. Say this rabbi said this.
Yeah.
And this other rabbi said that, and you condemn the view of that rabbi who said that. But that's not how they're reporting it. They'll go to something that one rabbi said, completely contradicted by other rabbis in the same text, and they'll say, "This is what all Jews believe who aren't atheists. All Jews believe this." And it's absolute nonsense. It's like that's false. What you're saying is false. Why are you saying it? So anyway,
this is just one of those examples of these neo-Nazi guys being completely dumb and acting and not engaging with the actual point at all. We made a whole live stream where we basically where we demonstrated how much he lied, how he misrepresented things deliberately, and we even pointed out that there is legitimate criticism to make against the Talmud and all of that. But from all of that, what he's getting is, so why can't we criticize Judaism?
Yeah, I even said how you could do it accurately. I said exactly how you could do it accurately. So for those who weren't watching, the Talmud is a collection of debates among the rabbis on how to interpret certain things and so on, and what to do in certain situations and so on. But the Fuentes fans, they'll go and they'll take a quotation from some rabbi and they'll say, this is what the Talmud said. And they're not talking to people who know anything about the Talmud. They're talking to people who have no clue what the Talmud is. And they tell them, this is what Jews believe, when that's what a particular rabbi who's contradicted by other rabbis. I mean, and keep in mind, that's the best case scenario. Sometimes they just quote something that's made up. It's a fabricated source, not actually in there. But when they're accurately at least quoting something that's in there, they ignore the entire context of the discussion. And then they say, Jews in general believe in this, and Jews are coming after you and so on. And all we do is we actually go to the source and say, hey, let's take a closer look at this. But notice I said how you could accurately criticize it. You say, hey, Rabbi in book so-and-so, Rabbi such and such said this, and this is a really, really messed up thing to say. And therefore, anyone who is aware of this and sides with that rabbi and not with the other rabbis who contradicted him, if you side with that rabbi, you've got a messed up view. That's how you criticize it, and do so accurately. But that's not what they do. They say they'll quote something that's from a particular rabbi that's contradicted by other rabbis, and they'll say, you see, this is what Jews believe. And in an effort to stir people up to be enraged against Jews. Don't do that. That's bad. So fix it. Fix your methodology. Criticize it accurately, and you're not going to hear a peep out of me. You're not going to hear a peep out of me if you're critiquing it accurately.
So here's what he said. Why has it been totally acceptable in the last 10 years? Okay, I've already read this pretty much. It is not at all a radical notion for Christians to reject an elite class that is disproportionately Jewish. They talk about me like I'm an insane or malicious person for saying this. It only makes common sense. It logically follows that we should have Christian leadership of our country, not Sharia law, not Talmudic law, not secular humanism either. The gaslighting is crazy. I feel like I'm stating something.
We do one live stream and he can't get over it. What?
The gaslighting is crazy. I feel like I'm stating something so obvious, and they call me demonic.
People have this deranged, almost violent reaction to what I. we played some clips of his. I don't know what to call it, lecture, talk, or whatever it is, rally with his groypers.
Yeah.
And then we shared some thoughts on it, why certain things are not being stated accurately.
They call me demonic for it, or they want to bring in the expert to fact check me. It's like, okay, what
expert?
Check?
What expert? All we did was actually go to the text. It's like we said, hey, why don't we look at the text?
Yeah, yeah. It, it's like, okay, what's the fact check on why Christians would want to be ruled by Jews and atheists? Or tell me why white civilization disappearing is a good thing? How is what I'm saying more irresponsible than the status quo, which is to have porn, drugs, and degeneracy everywhere? People have this
See, if you're not in favor of me, you're in favor of porn and degeneracy everywhere because I'm the only solution to porn and degeneracy. The only solution to porn and degeneracy is to go on a killing spree against Jews. That's it. That's the only option.
Why are people so mean to me?
What's creepy is look at the likes. 2,286 likes. He's got more than the 500 groypers we heard about.
People have this deranged, almost violent reaction to what I say, but then look around at the state of things in the country and shrug. We are correcting this. What are you
that's the thing. I look around at the problems facing society. And when I look around, oh no, look at all the messed up stuff in society. I don't look at it and go, oh no, it's the Jews. The Jews are behind all this. I really think,
And then he posts this. He
this
says,
guy's taking screenshots of
he says, look at this goof, get over yourself.
Actually, I look kind of cool there. I don't know what he's talking about. He's the one who looks like a dork.
He took it very personally. It's like, this is what he posts on his Telegram.
Dude. AP, look, I'll break this down to you. Nick, if you're this thin-skinned, like you can't handle any criticism, do not give me that information because I can mess with you pretty hard. You've already told me like everything that upsets you. That's what my brain is recording. Everything. Oh, that upset him. Oh, that upset him. Oh, that upset him. And therefore, if I want to, my goodness, I can make your life miserable, dude. If I even paid attention to you for 5 minutes, I'll probably make one video and let him freak out about that for 6 months.
Get over yourself. Get over yourself.
We responded to some dork calling for a massacre of Jews, and he flips out about it for 10 years.
And then he posts this. It says,
"It's pretty cool." He's sending people to IP.
Yeah, he said, in just one day, this is one of their most viewed streams, and almost all comments are negative towards him. This time, I won a 3 versus 1, and I didn't even need to be there. Yeah, I guess that's how it works. If you send your troll army there,
he sends a troll army, and then they're talking about me. He sends a troll army, and he actually did. He sent a troll army, and then they fill up the comments because they care a lot more than anyone else. And you see, it's like Tate fans, right? It's like you say something about Tate, and then all his fans come out, top G, what color is your Bugatti? And they say, see, you've been.
This reminds me of Muslims. This reminds me of what Muslims often do. They spam the comment sections and say like, "Oh, you see, we won."
And then they all like each other's comments and stuff like that to move the comments up to the front. But I mean, notice, I mean, we had a ton of Nick Fuentes Groypers fans in there, and we gave them the opportunity. Okay, he said this. Give us the source for this. What's the source? Find us the source. People still were coming up to me days later on Twitter saying this is the source, and they're all copying the same fake source, right? That source. That's not the Talmud. What are you talking about? They don't get it. Anyway, so those are the Groypers. Those are the Groypers. Bad idea. Letting us know how easily upset you are.
This is how he sent his trolls over. This is what he does. As soon as we scheduled a live stream, and he did this very quickly. We set it up, and he immediately. Somebody told him, I guess. He took a screenshot of it and posted it on his Telegram account with a little smiling SpongeBob meme here, which basically alerts all the gropers and says, go there and troll this live stream. And the result is pretty great. We had
this band of winners with really great lives jumped on it instantly. Yes, they did.
Yeah. Man.
I won. That's what's funny. See, I won without even being there. We were making fun of that he's got this rally where he has these guys show up to his rally and stuff, and he's going, we already won. It's like, what planet do you live on? So your plot is to become president of the United States, take over the military, establish a completely white United States of America, get rid of Jews and all non-white, I guess European white people who are now here and so on. That's your plan. And you're saying, I already won. I got my 500 Groypers here. Like, what level of delusional are you? Because that's pretty extreme.
That is pretty dumb. The two things people talk about in the comments are the bad faith, unnecessary, hostile, antagonistic approach towards me, and their refusal to engage with
Towards me, all I'm doing is calling for mass murder of Jews. I mean, what's the problem?
That's not what
Why are
people
people
are
so
talking
hostile?
about. That's not what people are talking about, Fuentes. That's what your trolls are talking about and making it look like that's what people are talking about. Because many of those people are regular viewers, see very clearly, as we have demonstrated on that live stream, that you just lie and lie and lie and lie over and over again. You use terrible logic. You lie in order to get your message across. If you actually stood there and you gave valid points, reasonable points, and were completely accurate in what you were claiming, if you did not give sources that are over 90% completely wrong, then we wouldn't be sitting here and basically, I don't know, reprimanding you and attacking you for lying to everyone, for lying to your own people. We wouldn't call you a liar. We wouldn't call you a scumbag. We wouldn't call you.
And there's actually
maybe
reason.
Still do, actually, I don't know.
Like I generally don't care if some idiot with 500 followers or whatever is spouting complete nonsense. On this particular issue, there are enough groups around the world who hate Jews where you actually could have a future bloodbath, right? And it's a situation where we've had a previous bloodbath not too long ago. But you've got Islam, which openly calls for Jews to be exterminated, and you don't get your virgins in paradise until you go around exterminating Jews. You have people on the political left who hate Israel. You've got people on the far right who don't like Jews. You've got a lot of people who don't like Jews, and the Jews are a pretty small ethnic group globally. And therefore, this isn't a situation where it's just some random people who never could possibly do anything, spouting a bunch of nonsense. These are people who could potentially in the future form alliances and actually go on a killing spree. And if they're spouting nonsense, you want to expose it now before they're slaughtering everyone.
Yeah, that is true. I will have Jay Dyer on here, by the way. Can't wait for you to have Jay Dyer on soon. The video on Jay's was top notch. That was actually amazing. I loved that discussion that I had with Jay Dyer. He is going to be a guest on this channel this coming week. I'm not sure what day that was. I think I scheduled it for, let me see, Jay Dyer. Oh yeah, he's going to be here on my channel live on Tuesday. So we'll have a long discussion with him on his recent debate with Daniel Kikichu and other issues. Very interesting guy. Yeah, whatever. Nick, stop crying. I don't want to be an asshole, but stop crying and I said it on that live stream. If you care so much about what we say about you, if this gets under your skin so much, just contact me. Let's have a discussion. And let's have a discussion, and you can prove me wrong. I can see where you are right, where you are wrong, and so far what we have seen, I'm not very impressed with you, to be honest. Inspiring Philosophy also agreed to have a discussion, to have a debate with you. Actually, that whole stream was supposed to take place on my channel, so I was going to be the host of that. I was going to be the main target of your attacks. I kind of piled it on Inspiring Philosophy right before we went live. But hey, you guys came, you sent your trolls over, and you gave him a very good view count, and your gropers even made a lot of super chats. So that's a very strange way of winning. But hey, Nick Fuentes,
I like it though.
Yeah, you don't need to send your gropers. If you want to have an actual discussion with me, I'm ready to actually engage in a good faith discussion with you, despite the fact that you believe in basically discriminating against entire groups of people, in separating, in genocide and all of that. I don't need your gropers. I can sit down and have a discussion with you without all the groping. Just get in touch with me if you care so much.
I think IP was willing to debate him, but later on when I said, hey, what topic? He said, I think I'd need to debate him on whether dinosaurs exist first. Snake Fuentes just rejects the idea that dinosaurs existed or something like that. So
yeah.
Anyway.
I thought he was a complete idiot and a scumbag and a joke. But then I saw these leaked messages between him and Milo, where Milo is basically reprimanding him and telling him to put on a bigger coat when he goes to his next speech, to his next rally, so he can be respected because he doesn't look serious enough. Not enough people are coming. And he's like, oh, okay, can you give me more tips, Milo? And I just thought, after seeing that, I just feel bad for this guy. Thoughts on Jean-François Garlibil? So it looks like a nice guy, but hangs out with the likes of Richard Spencer and Nick Fuentes. So I'm not sure what's up with him. I don't know who it is. He also debated some Muslims on MDD.
Yeah, I don't know who that is either, but based on his company, I would probably not be a fan.
Yeah, Jean-François Garlibil.
Guys, keep in mind, Richard Spencer is not Robert Spencer.
Yeah, that's different people.
Robert Spencer's cool. Richard Spencer, not so much.
Jean-François Garlipi, I have no idea who that is. I think that's a streamer who turned toward that camp as well.
I wouldn't like him just because of his name, but when you factor in the other things.
Garlipi. What are your thoughts on the war crimes Israel committed against the U.S.?
This is a Fuentes fan. This is a Groiper.
Are we still talking about this event? Which
this is a perfect example. Israel mistook, the Israeli military mistook a ship for an Egyptian ship and then bombed it. But that was the 60s.
Yeah, that was a 60s.
No, notice
war, right?
These things happen all the time in battles and war. So like the U.S. Embassy, I think it was 1999. The U.S. Bombed the Chinese embassy and so on.
Yeah.
But this is actually the issue. Yeah, all kinds of things like this happen. But when you fixate and say, when Israel does it, you see, it's a plot by the Jews. They really wanted to get into these problems. They really wanted to bomb the USS Liberty. In fact, it's Liberty. That's why they did it. They chose the USS Liberty because they wanted to show that they're destroying liberty in our country and stuff. And that's because of the Talmud. You go to the Talmud, and it's all this plotting, and it's never just, they mistook it. They do not actually want to piss off the United States. They just thought it was an Egyptian ship.
I guess I bet there are interpretations of what happened there. To me, just when you bring this up, I think, are you kidding me? Are we still talking about something?
What are you talking about? See, you're defending the Jews.
That happened 60 years ago. 60 years ago.
But it showed the true plot that they're trying to kill us all.
It was an event that happened 60 years ago.
That's why we need Nick Fuentes. Notice it was the same thing when they said, what about the Jews banning the gospel in Israel? And you looked it up and it was like 2 people who were advocating it. It had been rejected by the government and so on. It's like, they'll fixate on something. You see, this is the proof.
The gropers came and said, why don't you speak about the fact that Israel literally banned the gospel? And then you look at it and it's actually 2 members of the parliament wanting to ban conversion to different religions, and Netanyahu coming and saying, I will not allow this to happen. But and then the gropers are like, look, Israel banned the gospel. Yeah. This is the way, this is the quality, the competence that you guys present when you try to go and argue for your ridiculous stuff.
That's the issue, guys. I mean, there are completely legitimate ways of going around and criticizing different positions. When you're just I'm going to bring up this thing that happened in 1967, blah 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 blah, and it's like you could do that with anyone. I mean, any group that you wanted to target for hatred, you could go and find things that happened in that group.
America committed some really, really terrible, some really horrible acts. What does that mean?
Yeah.
During the George W. Bush administration, during the Iraq War, the trials of the Abu Ghraib detention center in Iraq, horrible things happened there. The presence of the American military in the Middle East, in Iraq, is a major contributor to people in Iraq having an extremely deep hatred toward America, toward the West, toward European people, toward Christian people, because the American military was there and did unspeakable things over there. Does that mean that America is all bad now? Does it mean all Americans are bad? Does that mean America is evil? Is this the conclusion that we're supposed to get to? Does this mean we are supposed to condemn the United States of America and everything that it stands for because of some pretty harsh, pretty bad atrocities that were committed in Iraq, for example? Is this the way of thinking that we are supposed to equip? There were lots of people who did a lot of good things when they went over to Iraq. A lot of veterans who actually went there with a good intention. I know some. Am I supposed to hate them too now because of that?
Yeah, the answer from Nick Fuentes is yes, you're supposed to hate Jews. That's it. Yes, supposed to do it.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, okay. Liberty was showing American flag. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure with the familiar. I'm not entirely familiar with the.
And it's jet flying over. Jet flying over. He spotted the American flag.
I'm not entirely sure about the details of the USS Liberty during the 6-day war. I don't think it's relevant to the discussion at all, as just pointed out.
No, but no, I mean,
apply the same logic to America and Iraq.
Yeah, that's the entire idea. Notice, I mean, they're telling us to fixate on this. Just fixate on this. I mean, my goodness. They apologized for it, but did they really apologize for it? They said they mistook it. The guy mistook it for an Egyptian, but did they really, or was this really a plot that they wanted to take this out all these years ago, all these decades ago? Right. And you point out, you could do that with any nation on the planet. Pick a nation that you want to hate and want to bomb and slaughter everybody. And just go down the list. Oh, look what they did in 1927. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Lobo Reckon said American isn't the political arbit, but here's the point. We never even went out on a mission to defend Israel from criticism or anything. We didn't even do that. We didn't even engage in any of that stuff. We just focused on Nick Fuentes, his anti-Semitism, and his supposed Talmud quotes, which are 100% wrong in everything that he said there. Actually, to be very honest, very precise. And it is other people who then come out and bring up Israel and atrocities that Israel apparently committed at some point. I don't care about Israel. I don't have any allegiance toward Israel. I don't have any interest in defending Israel. I couldn't care less about Israel. I couldn't care less about what Israel actually does. I usually don't engage in defending Israel. Although there is a past video in which I explained the whole conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, by which I stand. But I don't have any allegiance to Israel. Don't have any obligations. I don't care about Israel. Why is this relevant to the topic at hand? Why do the actions of Israel have to be a factor in whether Jews are bad or not? This is another example of how horrible these people argue. Anyway, long topic, long story short, the gropers need to stop groping. David, anything else you want to point out before we leave?
No, not really.
Anything you want to say to the gropers?
Guys, get a life, seriously. I mean, there are actual serious problems in the world today. If you look around at the world today and you go, we got to do something about the Jews. Or if you look around and say, we got to do something about this race. Like, I don't know. I think you're definitely on the wrong track as far as problems in the world goes. But I think you're basically begging to be manipulated.
Yeah.
Because if you have that kind of mindset, if you just go in here and say, look at this and look what it says in the Talmud, I'm not even going to bother to look and try to understand it. I'm just going to, we need to kill them. You're basically waiting for someone to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Mentally.
This mental, mate. Tony Bobo said that's messed up that he doesn't care. Okay, obviously, I guess I have to explain everything that I say in context. What I mean when I say I don't care about Israel is...
You're saying you don't care about the Jews.
No, what I mean by
he's
that...
on our side.
What I mean by that is I don't care about the urge. I don't have an urge to defend Israel. I don't care. I don't care. I know that there's a lot of stuff that Israel does that I completely disagree with and find terrible. There is a recent resurgence of the heavy, hardcore, hardline religious right taking over and proposing some really messed up things, and that is a representative of Israeli politics. I don't care about defending that. That is what I mean when I say I don't care. I'm not saying, oh, they can do whatever they want. They can kill people. They can massacre. Or I don't care about their existence. They can be killed. They can be massacred. What I'm just saying is I don't care about defending them. That's it. I thought that was simple. Johnny Silverball said, we just need one more bloodbath, guys. Just one more. Sure, we've tried thousands of times, but this time it will work. This time is different. Yeah, this time is different. It's always, this time is different. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day.
Hey, one second. I just shared a link. People are pointing out that Adam Seeker is live and that Hatun was on there.
Really?
So anyway, I shared a link for anyone who is wants to go look at something else. Adam Seeker's on. I don't know if Hatun's still on there, but she was earlier in this stream. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys that.
Apologetics Roadshow.
And they're talking. It's an English. It's Adam Seeker's English channel, and they're talking about Pakistan and blasphemy of the Quran. So
yeah, I pinned it. I pinned it. We are now leaving. If you want to watch stuff, go there and watch that.
Yeah.
Chickman Returns said the actions of Israel matters because AIPAC controls our Congress. No, they don't. Thank you. See, my dismissing of this will also be interpreted now by them as, you see. Just stop with that.
That's fine. If they, I mean, keep in mind, if they
stop with this balls.
Yeah, keep in mind, if they didn't get our attention for 5 minutes, then they wouldn't have anything to whine about. So anyway, yes, I'll
David,
make a video.
Wait, the link you posted is a link to our live stream that we are on right now.
Oh, what the heck did I just do?
You're sending people.
Stop
into an
embarrassing us. Where is it?
Sending people into an endless loop here.
Oh darn! Did I? Okay. And that would be funny. All right, there. Yeah. Try that one. See if that one works.
Replace pinned message. Final message to Nick Fuentes. If he wants to have an actual discussion, contact me. I'm still waiting. Otherwise,
I'm going to tell you about the Jews. The Jews. You see the churches being burned in Pakistan. You know who's behind that? I'll give you one guess. The Jews.
The Jews. It's always the Jews.
Jews.
Yeah, why can't we talk about the Jews?
Gotta get the Jews. This is why we need white supremacy.
And gropers go and come and control that.
Like Gripers. I like Gripers. I got 500 losers spread around the world who are so enraged at Jews that they'll do whatever I say.
He was crying because of the personal attacks, and now you're just doubling down. He was going to cry even more. He's going.
That's what's crazy. Like we go pretty hard on various things, but we got pretty thick skin. We can take the feedback. We don't even pay attention to the vast majority of it. I can't imagine losing my mind. I made a live stream going through what I said. What a dope.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and stay away from, don't grope people, and listen to what this guy is about to say here.
Stay away from Islam.